Hello, welcome to the 5th round of the Adobe Women's FA Cup. What we have for you here is a proper cup tie. Wolves from the National League, the lowest ranked team left in this competition, facing Brighton of the Barclays Women's Super League. Wolves have already caused an upset in the competition in round 4 when they beat Championship side Reading. Although with 2 leagues between today's 2 teams, they are big underdogs. It's been a tough week for Brighton, it has to be said, after an intense game on Wednesday. Played 120 minutes in their cup match in the Conti Cup against Aston Villa. Quarter-finals on Wednesday. They lost, unfortunately, for Brighton on penalties. So you might say this is the best time to play them. However, in the last 3 years, Brighton have twice reached the FA Cup semi-finals. A place in the quarter-finals awaits for today's winner. Well, Wolves certainly know what it means to face a team 2 tiers above. Last season they faced West Ham in the 4th round and it was a close affair. In the end, a 2-0 defeat suffered by Wolves. Brighton should not be expecting, though, an easy afternoon.
So these are your starting 11 for this afternoon for Brighton and Hove Albion. 32, Sophie Bailey. 3, Coffee Pattinson. 5...
Well, Brighton's coach, Mikey Harris, said that football often has a nasty habit of kicking you in the teeth. If you don't take games seriously, he will not be taking Wolves lightly. And here is the Wolves lineup. Destiny Toussaint was the hero of the 4th round when she scored a winner against Championship side Reading. You may have seen the celebrations on social media. There was a late change to the Wolves lineup here, an injury in the warm-up. Anna Morfitt has therefore been replaced by Beth Merrick, who starts in her place. And for Brighton, coach Mikey Harris said there would be changes after Brighton played over 2 hours of football in the Conti Cup on Wednesday. Mengwen and Karabali come into the defence to replace Kohlberg and Torresdotter as a result. Elizabeth Turland will definitely be the one that Wolves need to watch out for. Only Lauren James and Bunny Shaw have more goals in the Barclays Women's Super League this season. Well, there's a big question mark here. How will Brighton react after these players suffered defeat in the Conti Cup to Aston Villa in midweek? Missed the opportunities to make it through to the semi-finals, having been ahead in that game. Ran into a very impressive Van Domselaar, the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Now they face Wolves, a very different proposition. Destiny Toussaint, who wildly celebrated in the previous round against Reading when she scored the late winner, is today's captain for Wolves. Bags of experience in the Women's Championship. And today she will look to guide Wolves that one stage further. Well, in their last league match, Wolves went down to top of the table Newcastle 3-0. League form, though, goes out of the window, and you can hear the atmosphere. Wolves are bringing it here at AFC Telford's New Bucks Head. Well, there are 2 divisions between the 2 teams in the Adobe Women's FA Cup, though. That all goes out of the window. A place on the line in the quarter-finals for either Brighton or Wolves. Wilson is the fullback, has plenty of experience of promotion from the Women's Championship, was part of the Reading team who were promoted up to the Barclays Women's Super League in 2015. Wolves up into the area with an early chance. Well, it's a cross which was crying out for a touch in the middle. And sliding to get there. Well, they just weren't able to reach, Wolves. A very good start from the National League side here. Pattinson under pressure was one of those who played in the game on Wednesday night in the Conti Cup. And it will potentially just take Brighton some time to settle. And Wolves looking to exploit that again with Toussaint, who throws the ball into play, but Wolves unable to take advantage. No way that Amber Hughes was getting to that one. Good pressure here by Toussaint, who gets into a crossing position. Decent ball as well. Back into the area by Bramford. Toussaint seeing plenty of it in the early stages here. Another opportunity to deliver. And she's won a corner. Well, Wolves have the backing of the home support here, and it seems to be firing them up. Beth Merrick, a late addition to the team after the injury to Anna Morfitt in the warm-up. She delivers. And it's duly nodded away at the back. Bramford's pass being chased here by George, who's done well, has the strength to hold off the challenge. Only succeeds, though, in finding Lee Gun-min, who missed a big opportunity in that game on Wednesday to wrap things up for Brighton. Opportunity perhaps here to make amends. First touch for Beck Thomas, the goalkeeper. And her clearance forward gets the flick on, but Liv Ferguson, who arrived from Celtic this summer, is in an offside position. Another who used to play in the Barclays Women's Super League, Liv Ferguson, played for Bristol City. And today Wolves will be looking to call on their more experienced players to get them over the line here. They've certainly had a very good start. Bergsford with the clearance away. Unable to connect with Turland. And when Brighton do manage to connect with her, she is so often so deadly, but more recently they have struggled to create meaningful opportunities on goal. Been all change as well, with a new coach coming in. Mikey Harris hasn't had too long to settle, and there have been plenty of games since his arrival. Still looking for his first win as the new coach after the surprise departure of Mel Phillips. Beth Roberts with the clearance away, but it's Brighton who pick things up. So far, Wolves have been industrious in that midfield area, and they've won it back again, and it's out towards the right, towards Toussaint, where the ball is heading time and time again. And she drives Pattinson all the way to the byline. The delivery was good too. Well, certainly Brighton are going to have to be on their toes to try and deal with the threat here of Toussaint on the right. Fired up. And looking to fire in again, but she's turned the ball out of play for a Brighton throw-in. Zijotti protecting the ball is forced back, but she finds Bergsfund, who quickly slides away to Lee Mengwen, who is one of the changes to the Brighton backline today. Mikey Harris was fairly open about the changes that were coming after what has been a fairly intense couple of weeks, really. Games against Chelsea, Manchester United, and then very quickly afterwards the Conti Cup game that came against Aston Villa in the week. Wolves give the ball away, and it offers the chance for Turlen to come forward. She can't get the ball through, though. And Wilson carries away. And Ferguson trying to spin. Looked after by Simmons. Slides in to make the challenge. Brighton go all the way back. And it's Sophie Baggerly, who was excellent in the penalty shootout against Aston Villa. Still couldn't help prevent what came next when Aston Villa won 2-0 in the end on penalties. Some tired legs at the end of that game. Karabali's interception. Well, the pace of the game dropping off ever so slightly, and it had to at some stage. Wolves have had an excellent beginning to this matchup. It's now whether they can continue that and push on all the way through. Mengwen's pass around the corner, looking for England international Katie Robinson, who was making the burst. Liga Min lifting the ball over the top. Lee Mengwen trying to make some progress. Stopped in her tracks, fouling as she tried to win the ball back. Free kick Wolves. Well, you would imagine that Dan McNamara, who is Wolves' coach, will be very happy so far that Brighton have been restricted to 0 chances on goal. Beck Thomas, who starts in goal today, ahead of Shan Turner, the Northern Ireland international who's on the bench, makes the clearance away. Destiny Toussaint inside her own half, trying to protect the ball to keep it away from Pattinson here. And she does very well, although the pass was risky. The referee tried to play the advantage. Foul by Pattinson. And a free kick after the excellent work from Destiny Toussaint. Long clearance forward by Thomas. Dealt with by Brighton. Pattinson quick to release the pass. Here is Maisie Simmons, who has dropped short and will look to lift one over the top. Robinson was the target, and she managed to get beyond Roberts, but Roberts gets a helping hand, and Brighton tried to work it quickly up into the danger zone on the edge of Wolves' penalty area. Cleared away. Tatiana Pinto with the pass. Nice football here from Brighton. Pinto into Pattinson. And it's Destiny Toussaint who is there again. Look for the quick pass in towards Amber Hughes. Unable to pick her out with the pass, and Brighton able to carry the ball on. They'll slip it through the channels, and Simmons slides the pass into Pattinson, who looks to progress. Into the area they go. Tatiana Pinto with Brighton's first effort on goal, which is easily saved by Beck Thomas. First time we've seen Brighton go up through the gears, and the resulting shot doesn't really provide too much in the way of trouble. Ball is allowed to bounce, and Karabali is the quickest to react, manages to get there before Ferguson. Again, Brighton trying to make their way through the central area of the field, and where Aston Villa in the week was so good at holding them up, was stopping them working the ball through the phases. The more central players within the team, likes of Lasada, who's on the bench today, and Zijotti, just weren't able to work the angles. Karabali able to travel. Simmons clips the ball brilliantly, diagonally into the feet of Robinson, who can only send the effort over the bar. Elizabeth Turlin, waiting in the middle, reacts because she feels the pass should have come her way. Saw the opportunity, Katie Robinson, to go for goal. This time tries to lift it through, was looking for Lee Gunmin, unable to find her, cleared away by Beth Roberts. It will come straight back though. Lee Gunmin dropping into these awkward pockets of space. Brighton charging forward. Lee Mengwen will get there to deliver the cross. And Brighton attempting to make the clearance, which they do at the second time of asking. Good spell of pressure here for the away side. And Zijotti battles to win it. Double teamed unfairly. Willem Ferguson, the two players to sandwich Zijotti. Brighton free kick. Well, a free kick slammed through the crowd of players who were inside the penalty area. Maisie Simmons, though, off target with the ambitious hit. Would have been an absolute stunner from there. Did well to make it through all of those players who were congregating inside the penalty area. Excellent play by Ferguson. Merrick unable to progress. Robertson back on defensive duty, turning the ball back into her penalty area. One back here by Wolves. And Tammy George circles back. There is perhaps some additional excitement about the Adobe Women's FA Cup, with Arsenal and Manchester City, two of the big teams, of course, playing each other in this round. That game approaching half-time, 0-0 as far as I understand it. Of course, it does mean that when we get to the quarter-finals, one of the big guns will be missing. Turlen looking to make the run through the channel. She was unable to get there. Pressure on here though for Beck Thomas, who was slow to react. Robinson looking to snatch in, unable to feed the pass into Lee Gun-min. And this time Beck Thomas is able to gather. Wolves caught out as Lee Min-wen comes forward, her cross punched away by Thomas and sent further forward by Roberts. Lee Min-wen is still forward. Destiny Toussaint in a position where Wolves will enjoy seeing her attacking the fullback. 1v1 against Poppy Pattinson here. Toussaint is forced out of play. Zijotti moving the ball around nicely in that midfield area. Brighton are managing to connect the passes. And it's Zijotti again, spinning, turning, finding space on the left-hand side. Toussaint had that one covered though, sliding in, turning away for a throw. Simmons pass out to Lee Min-wen. Interesting tactics from Brighton. Simmons dropping into the back line, and she is often starting the moves and finding the passes into the feet of either Zijotti or Pinto. Here's Pattinson. Quick 1-2 with Zijotti. Feeds it wide, but the overlapping run where Pinto was waiting. Well, the route to that one was blocked off, and here is Pattinson. Zijotti, passing field. There's Simmons. Lovely fluid movement from Brighton again to open up the opportunity to go for goal, but again they're off target. Simmons this time with the chance sent over the bar. Not a normal fixture in Brighton's midfield, so an opportunity for the young Brighton midfielder to impress here. And in the absence of Vicky Losada, she is trying to do just that alongside Zijotti, Pinto and Robinson. Plenty forward here for Wolves as we await this free kick. And it's a nice looking ball as well. Just over the head of Toussaint and all the way through and out for a goal kick. Karabali onto Pattinson, beats the challenge of Toussaint. And Pinto goes back towards the Joti. Roberts able to intercept as the move gets going. Thumps away and out for a throw-in. Simmons again trying to orchestrate. Have to wonder whether Wolves might be better placed putting somebody on that deep midfield player for Brighton. And more often than not, it's proving to be Macy Simmons who's dropping shorter to pick up the ball. Not sure whose shoulders that responsibility will fall on for Wolves. Possibly Amber Hughes to step in and just sit on Simmons. Pressure on for Bergsfond. And she's happy to square the pass across towards Bagley. It was a blistering start in this game for Wolves. Really explosively they came out of the blocks, but it's been Brighton who have been linking the passes together and looking more dangerous over the last 10 minutes or so. And they're in here, and Turland has a chance, but she's in an offside position. Flag quickly raised over on that far side. The Joti in there to tidy up. And it's brought down by Tatiana Pinto, whose pass is short. And that offers this opportunity for Hughes to break. And Hughes gets the free kick as well after the challenge by Karabali. Well, I'm fairly sure that Wolves would have had the conversation about taking your chances when they come before this matchup. And these are the kind of moments that Wolves will need to try and take advantage of if they can. Lifted in by Merrick. And turned away by the Brighton defence. Patterson allowed to travel. So Joti's seen the room here for Simmons to break. And Turland scrapping for it, but doing so unfairly and conceding the free kick. Well, all smiles for Dan McNamara, the coach who's sat on the bench. Toussaint tangling with Simmons. Wilson takes things up, makes the run. George now arriving, she's done well here. Too many Brighton players back there. And the opportunity blocked and carried away. by Bergsford, who saw the danger. Been a few worrying moments for Brighton in the opening 26 minutes of this one so far. Still no goals. Lee Min looking to travel. Toussaint has different ideas. And the referee pulls play back for a foul and a Brighton free kick. Simmons. Well, we've seen Brighton trying to pull that pass off a couple of times. The diagonal ball in behind, this time too heavy from Simmons. Ferguson wins the free kick. Important moments for Wolves. They need the ball to stick in these areas of the field, and a free kick is really a bonus. Looking for the flick on here, Wolves, and it will drop for the chance. Well, it had to be taken quickly and it's fired over the top. But it's a moment that certainly had Sophie Bagley worried as she came sprinting out here. It's fired over the bar in the end by Johnson. Well, she was originally an attacking midfielder, Katie Johnson, before moving on in the later stages of her development into a more defensive role. Certainly had their chances in this game, Wolves. Flicked through by Turland. Unable to pick out Robinson. Here's Lee Min spinning and finding Bergsford. Sajotti. And then Simmons with the pass across towards Pattinson. Toussaint's challenge wasn't to the liking of the referee. And Phoebe Cross is pretty close by. Wolves fans, Wolves players and fans, in fact, not so happy with the decision, but the whistle was blown. Will be Pattinson, who goes low, looking for the flick on from Lee Min. Seemed to turn away from the ball almost. Gives the opportunity for Wolves to get rid of the danger. And Brighton will start again inside the centre circle with Sajotti. Crossfield pass was pretty heavy. Difficult one for Simmons. Toussaint there, making the clearance. Lee Meng went quick give and go, and off she goes here towards the byline. There's the cutback, and the deflection carries over the top. Well, Lee Meng Wen with a brilliant ball, and actually it wasn't a deflection. It was Turland arriving to send over. Excellent centre-forward play from Elizabeth Turland, who made that run in towards the front post and managed to get there as well, ahead of Katie Johnson. Karabali coming out to deal with the threat of Bramford, who was making the break. Lee Meng Wen, a bit too heavy with the touch. Now Roberts in no rush here. Quick breathe up for the Wolves players before we get back underway. Here's Pattinson. Now Zagiotti. Swedish international. Can't find the pass into Lee Gun-min. Lee Meng Wen wins it back, and Robinson is there. Her cut back, looked after by Bramford. Edge of the penalty area. Brighton with a half-hearted appeal for a penalty, but it's cleared away. The referee not showing any interest. Has some interest though in a Wolves free kick. Here is Merrick waiting to send this one forward. And she sends it deep. And Toussaint is arriving and claiming a corner. Merrick lifts the ball in. Bergsford onto Lee Meng Wen. This is a team littered with international players. Colombian international on the ball, Swedish international now, Chinese international here. They are used to playing on the biggest stages against the world's best players. It's currently 0-0 here though against National League side Wolves. Pattinson with a chance to break. Excellent sliding challenge to rob her of possession, but that was late from Destiny Toussaint. And it will be a yellow card for the Wolves winger here. Well, it's not the first time that we've seen her be slightly too over-eager to get to the challenge. And this time... Karabali onto Bergsford here. Well, Merritt will, felt that was a fair challenge, but the referee here, Phoebe Cross, didn't agree. Brighton able to bring the ball away. Simmons playing the pass to Pattinson. Spent plenty of time in this first half, camped out in Wolves' half. Brighton trying to work the chance. It's Turland who can't escape the challenges here of Johnson. Wolves do well and Wolves work away. Karabali wins it straight back. Not taking any risks. Goes all the way through to Sophie Baggerly. Robinson, early pass, and the header away. Wolves are proving rather stubborn for Brighton to break down. Here comes Simmons. Now Pattinson feeds the ball around the corner where Tatiana Pinto waits. Pattinson again, and Simmons unable to control that, but Wolves unable to find Amber Hughes, who was in a good position, and Karabali wins it straight back here. Pattinson looking for the run of Turland, who's peeled away. And Johnson sticking to her. Stops the cross going anywhere too problematic. Pattinson looking to turn, finding some room here. In midfield for Brighton, Karabali receives the pass from Simmons. And now Bergsford, who can drive forward. She's done well, pokes on, unable to pick up as it dropped close to her feet. All about focus now for Wolves, having done so well in this game. And Turland stumbles. And Wilson clears, only as far as Lee Meng went. Better from Wolves in midfield. Ferguson managing to keep hold of the ball, and whilst the foul has maybe stopped the momentum of the breakaway, does mean that the pressure has been alleviated for a moment or two here, just as it was building before the half-time whistle. 5 minutes to go until we get that here. Bergson's ball through the middle, looking for Turland, who has been well looked after by the Wolves defence, it has to be said, in this game. Goalkeeper Beck Thomas has been rarely troubled at all. And in fact, it looks as though both of today's Adobe FA Cup ties are pretty tight, with Arsenal against Manchester City also still 0-0. Lee Min shoved off of the ball by Merrick Will. Amber Hughes sliding, trying to control, and able to poke it in the direction of a teammate, and Simmons saw the opportunity to send the ball straight through to Robinson. Here's Pattinson now, she delivers, big chance, and Brighton do have their goal just before the break here. It's thundered in at the far post by Katie Robinson. Lovely breakaway, and a brilliant ball as well from Pattinson. Right into the path of Robinson, who was arriving late. And her touch was emphatic, and Brighton lead. Robinson makes no mistake. And finally, the Wolves' resistance is broken here. Task for Wolves now is to try to not concede again before the half-time whistle. One goal doesn't exactly look like a mountain to climb. Two, well, that's a much bigger task, of course. Again, it's Robinson, this time looking to turn provider. Not able to deliver the ball into the area. The pressure was a bit too much. Good recovery by Beth Merrick to get back. She can certainly hit these clearances, Beck Thomas, the goalkeeper. Ball was allowed to bounce, but it's Brighton who managed to turn away, albeit only momentarily. Zijotti. And Tatiana Pinto. You wonder whether there might be a few changes from Brighton at half-time, with the team playing over 2 hours of football in the Conti Cup this week. And Brighton certainly do have options on the bench. The likes of Sarri scored a brilliant goal in that game in the Conti Cup. Lasada, Kohlberg. All available. Lee Min on the spin. Hustled off of the ball by Ferguson, who carries away. The referee wasn't too happy with the challenge. Free kick here for Brighton. Simmons curls over the wall, but the effort is straight at Beck Thomas. And it's an easy save for Wolves goalkeeper.
Fourth official has indicated a minimum of 1 minute of added on time. 1 minute.
Well, not much in the way of additional time at the end of this first half. Might be a bit more now. There's the whistle for the end of the first half. Wolves have given a good account of themselves, but when it mattered, Brighton able to find that cutting edge. And there's the goal scorer. Her goal separating the two teams. Katie Robinson with the strike, not long before half-time. And as a result, it's Wolves 0, Brighton 1 at the break. Well, let's have a look back at this first half. Wolves started ever so strongly here. And this was a glorious chance to score. Flashed across the face by Merrick. Both teams have had their opportunities, but there weren't too many that were too clear-cut for Brighton until the goal. Robinson had an early sighter with that one that she flashed over the top, but for the most part, Wolves have coped fairly well with their Barclays Women's Super League opponents here. A half chance flashed over by Johnson there. And this was a good opportunity for Turland, which she did well to get to. Fair to say that Wolves have been fired up, and that's perhaps no surprise. But it was Brighton who fired in at the far post. Katie Robinson with the finish after excellent work on the left-hand side by Poppy Pattinson. At half-time here in the Adobe Women's FA Cup, Wolves 0, Brighton 1. We'll be back for the second half soon. Swept in behind and on the run, here goes Garcia. She manages to get the wrong side of the Newcastle defence, but she can't pick out Paris. Here comes Toon, lovely effort on goal, and a fine strike from the England international. It's taken a while, but Manchester United do have the vital goal here, and they lead against Newcastle. And it's Ella Toon who is the one to provide it here. What a wonderful goal.
One goal in it. Could be 3 more for Manchester City though. Could they have another hit? It's pinged off and in. Manchester City double their lead. Jill Roord with the goal. Her first goal for Manchester City in the FA Cup. And it pings off the woodwork and in. Unfortunate for Durham. Well, there was absolutely nothing that the Durham keeper could have done about that.
The goal scorer of Nottingham Forest.
Palova's let it run. Leah Bilty! Placed to perfection. Arsenal racing clear in the 4th round. And wasting no time in doing so. Great dummy from Palova and a lovely bit of precision on the shot.
Boyhalorka finding space. Oh, that is a beauty. A brilliant hit called in by Chantal Boyhalorka. And London City Lionesses are now racing away with this Adobe Women's FA Cup tie.
For your London City Lionesses, scored by 33.
We've seen some goals, but this is the pick of the bunch. Just beyond the reach of Rose Kite, the diving goalkeeper.
Works it, retain possession there. Kelly chips the ball up. Laura Coombs finds the back of the net. McAloon was reaching for it. Her fourth goal of the season in all competition. Coming off the underside of the bar by the looks of things. And the three-time FA Cup winners have the early lead here at Maiden Castle.
West Ham don't have a decent record against Chelsea. Saeed with the effort and with the opening goal against the run of play. West Ham take the lead. A hopeful ball over the top. She was in behind, and a fine effort into the bottom corner. Well, she was in behind Buchanan, a decent first touch and an even better second touch. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. Across the face of goal, Musovic unable to keep the ball at bay.
Mini cross. Cade. Woodward Moy. Over trying to slide it through the middle. Opportunity here for Arsenal. It's 3. And Arsenal are absolutely rampant. And Stina Blackstenius off the bench to score with her first touch. And that was the definition of a cool, calm finish.
Boyhalorka. That is an incisive pass. This could be the chance. Well, it's a cruel blow for Moneyfield. Right at the end of half-time, just before the whistle. It's curled into the far corner by London City Lionesses. This was the ball. Boyhalorka fed it through, and Little John following up after Fitzgerald couldn't do too much with the pass.
Thistle with the turn and the equaliser. The substitute strikes, and Chelsea are back in this cup contest. It has been coming, and with a little over 20 minutes to play, Chelsea have an equaliser. It was headed back into the danger zone. It was a decent turn, a swivel and a fine finish from the official, who grabs her second Chelsea goal.
Very nice footwork from Maraud. Hemp just chips the ball over. Can Maraud get there? Jill Raud with her second of the game. An easy goal in the end, scooping it over the keeper. Well, she did a whole lot in that attack. starting it, picking up on Lauren Hemp's ball over the defenders and then doing the same to the Durham keeper, who just watched it loop over the top of her.
Welcome back to the Adobe Women's FA Cup and this tie between Wolves and Brighton. It's Brighton here who are ahead at half-time thanks to the goal from Katie Robinson. Her strike came just before the half-time whistle, came steaming in at the back of the penalty area, and it's the goal that separates the two teams here. Wolves started the first half at a ferocious pace, and I'm sure Brighton will be very aware that that storm might be coming again. Been a tough week for these Brighton players, having been knocked out of the Conti Cup, but a place in Monday's draw for the quarter-finals of the Adobe Women's FA Cup is at stake. They have 1 foot in that draw after the first half. Now Vicky Lasada coming onto the field here. Well, Wolves were plucky and ambitious in the first half. Just slipped away from them at the end of the 45. How will they start here in the second half? Do they wait? Or do they come out with that electric pace that they showed early on in the first half? Perhaps no surprise to see Brighton make a change, with Zijotti heavily involved in the game in the Conti Cup on Wednesday night, and she's replaced here by the experienced Vicky Lasada. Bergson with a long ball through the middle, Turland on the chase. And it's well protected by Katie Johnson, who's back there, keeping Turland away and winning the free kick. Merrick looking for space, trying to lift over the top towards Toussaint. Lasada is rather crudely dealt with there by the sliding Ferguson. And the referee just letting her know that that's the last time that that will happen on her watch. Lee Menweng, early ball up into the area, head Brighton, and the deflection was a lucky one as far as Wolves are concerned. Ends up back in the arms of Beck Thomas. Well, Vicky Lasada, who was a cup winner with Arsenal, bringing some vital experience into the midfield in an area where Brighton were really excelling at the end of the first half. They were working it nicely through the phases. They have some defending to do here as Johnson sends one, looking for the flick on. Ferguson unable to reach. And Simmons with the outside of the boot can pass away to the Colombian Carabali. One back by Pinto. And space here for Simmons, who's lining one up. She's going to hit this. And she really got behind it too, but it's a good save by Beck Thomas, who was able to palm away. Pattinson, well, she assisted the first goal, this time looking for Turland. Turland off target. And Thomas is there. Well, in the build-up to this game, Wolves spoke a lot about these kind of games being the ones that they want to be in more regularly. Won't be in the National League, but it's pretty tough down there to get yourself out, especially with Newcastle flying at the top. Might not be too long, though, before Wolves are up in the Championship. That's the target. Tammy George never really caught the strike, and it was easy in the end for Brighton's Sophie Baggerly to make the stop. Robinson has plenty of room here. Makes the cut back and doesn't pick out a teammate. Amber Hughes flicking on, but there's nobody there to pick up the pass. The challenge on Simmons came late from Tammy George. Free kick for Brighton, and I think Simmons may have just felt the effects of that one. Well, this was the challenge. And if anything, Tammy George was trying to pull her leg away. And only just caught Maisie Simmons on the follow-through. Looked good in that Brighton midfield, Maisie Simmons. Some fairly talented players in there for Brighton, Zajotti, Pinto and Lasada. That does restrict the opportunities for Simmons. Had a chance today, has a quick word with the new coach, Mikey Harris, on her way to the side of the field, just to let him know whether or not she's okay to continue. And it looks as though she will be. Brighton have taken the free kick quickly. They don't do too much with it though, it floats all the way through and out for a goal kick. Lee Gomin went down rather theatrically, hence the reaction from the Wolves fans, but there was a pull in there. Pattinson. That's a good-looking ball, and Karabali just wasn't able to bring it under control. Out came Beck Thomas, who was able to slide in and get there just in time. Wolves are hanging on in there, and that's all they really need to do at this stage. And they just have to take advantage of the opportunities when they arrive. Karabali sliding in to get there before Ferguson can. And Toussaint's still down after the challenge in the build-up. Referee pulling play back here for a free kick. Wolves looking to attack, a good-looking ball into the area, big chance! Well, as it dropped to Amber Hughes for the opportunity to take the volley, you thought that this might be the moment here for Wolves. Struck it goalwards, and in the end, the header is flicked over the top of the bar. Big chance for Ellie Wilson. Simmons. Well, Tammy George was clever. Just put herself in front of the ball. Wins the free kick here for Wolves. Toussaint with a high leg, Wolves with a chance, and Sophie Bagley was certainly concerned, went scampering across in order to get there. The effort was wide, but only just. Brilliant opportunity, nearly well taken by Johnson. Wolves to make a change. End of the afternoon here for Liv Ferguson, and she is replaced by Dudley Jones. Well, it's a new injection of life into this Wolves attack. Misha Dudley-Jones, who was a youth team player with Manchester City, now 22. But she does come from good stock, having come through that Manchester City academy, which of course trains players to the highest level. Would have been in and around a very good crop of players. Lee Min drops short, looks to feed it through. Robinson is happy to go back here. Well, it's amazing the effect that home support and home fans can make, and that's certainly making a difference here to these Wolves players. It's been a close battle for nearly an hour here. Pattinson's ball into the area, intercepted and turned away. Liga Min shifting the pass. And Brighton thought they were in there. Turner was racing to get there. So too was Roberts. Roberts for Wolves thumping away. Conceding a corner which will be taken here by Lasada. Vicky Lasada looking to the back of the area. And Beck Thomas is the one who's there waiting. Liga Min digs out the pass, Robinson is away. And beyond the Wolves' defence here, has a glance, plays the pass. And she'll get a second goal here. Very good defending by Wolves. They do ever so well to get back and make the challenge and turn away to get rid of the danger when things looked really problematic as Robinson came forward. Liga Min finding space, overhitting the pass. Well, Katie Robinson, who scored the goal in this game, has had a brilliant impact. She makes way. And so too does Lee Meng Wen. Sari and Kohlberg, the two to come onto the pitch. Well, things don't get too much easier for Wolves. Brighton have some excellent players in reserve. Beatrice Sari scored a spectacular goal in the Conti Cup game on Wednesday. Goal that could easily have settled any game. It was an absolute peach, but in the end it didn't prove to be enough. As it stands though, Brighton are winning here, and that means they will make the next round of the Adobe Women's FA Cup. Looking to make the semi-finals for the third time in 4 seasons. Quarter-finals to come next, and the draw will take place on Monday night. Plenty of tight FA Cup matches elsewhere. Just in case you are waiting to watch the highlights later, I won't spoil the scores. A free kick here And a yellow card for Vicky Losada for the challenge. Tammy George making things pretty awkward for Brighton in midfield. We've already seen that Merrick, from positions like this, can deliver. Excellent balls into the penalty area. Merrick floats one. And the referee points to the spot. Big chance for Wolves to get back into the game. Merrick floats one in. And there was a collision on the penalty spot. The referee seeing enough in that to say it should be a penalty here for Wolves. Well, there's the confirmation of the card for Losada in the build-up. That led to the free kick. And now Wolves have a penalty. Well, Sophie Bagley was superb during the Conti Cup penalties in the week. Now Beth Merrick, who wasn't even in the initial starting lineup, only stepped in because of the injury to Anna Morfitt, will step up to take this penalty. She scores. Wolves, who are 2 divisions below Brighton in the National League, have pulled level in this Adobe Women's FA Cup tie. Perfect penalty. Beyond the clutches of Sophie Bagley to make it 1-1. Merrick has the answer, and now Wolves have the opportunity to make it through, unbelievably, to the quarter-finals of this competition. Well, this is what it's all about. The magic of the cup. Still alive and kicking. Wolves now will look to attack with Toussaint. Slips the pass, and Bramford into a crossing position, whips in the ball, a bit too close though to goalkeeper Bagley. Had options in the middle, Hughes was there waiting, and Dudley Jones was arriving too. Well, the physio team look as though they've got some work to do. Beth Roberts going to need some treatment here, holding her calf. And that means we can look back on this vital penalty kick for Wolves. Beth Merrick holds her nerve and pulls Wolves right back into it here.
Today's attendance at the new Bucks Head is a record for the ground of 1,812.
Well, the game continues to progress. More numbers through the gate time and time again. And this is why spectacles like this, Wolves 1, Brighton 1, has been a real encounter so far. Well, some instructions here from Mikey Harris, who is still looking for his first win as Brighton coach. It has been a tough start, it's been a tough run of games for Brighton, but really there can be no excuses here. They would have been expected to step up, especially given the money that was spent over the summer for Brighton, but take nothing away from Wolves. It's been a really good performance. They have hung on in there. And when it mattered and when they had the opportunity, took their chance. And who knows from here.
Substitution for Wolves, replacing number 22, Beth Roberts, and making a debut on her birthday. Would you please welcome number 15, Layla Benares.
Well, Benares, who has just joined on dual registration from Birmingham, replaces the injured Beth Roberts, who went down. How about this? Thrust straight into the spotlight. The first start. Corbo making the burst, won't get to that one. And it's Benares who manages to get there. Corbo's pass. Patterson waiting, gets the shot away, but doesn't really cause any trouble. Takes a deflection on the way through Brighton corner. Oh, Pattinson in a really good position, doesn't control the ball, and Wolves, as a result, can break away. Merrick, the goal scorer, joining the attack. Well, this would be the shock of the round if Wolves were to go on to win this one, without question. Liga Min can't spin, can't turn, no room to do that. And even if she had, it wouldn't have mattered too much. Just as a reminder, if it finishes here, all square, and we're heading that way at the moment, we're going to extra time and then penalties. Here's Turland, pokes it through. Always looked as though that was offside, and the flag is raised against Tatiana Pinto. Turland has been largely anonymous in this game. Real credit has to go to the Wolves defenders for that, because, well, she scored a fair few in the Barclays Women's Super League this season. Only behind Bunny Shaw and Lauren James in the goal-scoring chart in the Barclays Women's Super League. It's fair to say you'd have to be concerned about Brighton if they were to lose this one. Down at the wrong end of the Barclays Women's Super League as it stands. Into the area from Pinto. Big up and under, which doesn't cause problems. And there haven't been many problems at the back here for Wolves. Katie Johnson in that central area has been absolutely superb in this game. Kohlberg rolls the pass across the field, too much on it for Pinto. Pinto delivers, takes a deflection, which ultimately takes the ball away from Beatrice Sarri. Simmons up to the edge of the box, and Turland's shot is stopped. Deflection taking the sting out of that one. Easy save in the end for Beck Thomas. Well, Merritt Will here doesn't look entirely comfortable. Wolves players playing out of their skin today. And potentially that's just starting to take its toll. We've already seen Beth Roberts have to come off. And we can have a look at what exactly happened here. She just pulls up ever so slightly. It doesn't really even look all that awkward. Holding a knee though, and you've got to be careful in those moments. And Dan McNamara will take the opportunity here to offer some final words of advice to these players as we head into the final 10 minutes or so of this game. Huge achievement that they have managed to frustrate Brighton, who are 2 divisions above, for most of this second half. It was a massive achievement to get the goal as well. Now, potentially, they're going to look for a winner. Looked as though there was some fire within that team talk. Brighton players come together, looking to prevent that. It's going to be a really intriguing final 10 minutes of the game. Wolves fans will be delighted here to see Merritt Will back up onto her feet, looking a bit more comfortable and looking as though she'll be okay to return. Hughes dropping deep, finding support. And support was there as well. Dudley Jones was able to provide it. Brilliant header away. Hughes trying to turn and doing enough. Brighton players eager to get this done within the 90. They've already been to extra time once this week, and penalties didn't exactly work out that well on Wednesday, so tying this game up quickly seems to be on the mind for Brighton here. Beth Merritt with the throw-in, looking for Hughes, who was looking for the free kick. Doesn't get anything from the referee. Turned around the corner by Sarri. Touch was a bit too heavy. Wilson diving across to get there. Made the vital touch. Brighton still pushing. Pattinson looking for an option from the throw-in here. Lee Min sent tumbling, looking for a free kick and not getting one. While Wolves, in the last round, providing a shock by beating Championship side Reading. It wasn't so long ago that they were in the Barclays Women's Super League. Now looking to spring an even bigger shock here against Brighton. Katie Johnson might have caught the eye of a few today with her performance. Long clearance from the free kick intercepted. Simmons able to send the pass wide. Pattinson is breaking forward, has the pace but can't get beyond Ellie Wilson. Hughes will give chase. Loses out in the race for the ball. Liam in. Gets lucky with the ricochet. Turland is there looking to take advantage. Well, the run well tracked again by Katie Johnson, and again Beck Thomas is there, stood behind to make sure. Do either team have one final flourish here? If not, we are heading to extra time. Hughes wasn't quite the clearance that she was looking for, but Sarri can't get there ahead of Ellie Wilson. Simmons moves it wide as we move into the final 2 minutes here. Good ball, finished off in the middle by Emma Kullberg. Well, it's a cruel blow here for Wolves, who have worked so hard to get themselves back into this game, but Brighton may have just made their move to the quarter-finals of the Adobe Women's FA Cup.
Substitution for Wolves leaving the field, number 11, Amanda Hughes. Acting from most line, number 9, Jake Ross.
One final push for Wolves, perhaps. Nothing to lose here. They have fought all the way with Brighton. Kullberg, who looks as though she scored the winning goal. Making some progress here along the right-hand side.
Fourth official has indicated a minimum of 6 minutes of added time. 6 minutes.
Well, the Wolves fans certainly enjoying that. Wolves on the charge, racing through, and Bagley just about anticipated the bounce. Karabali hooks away. Patterson is there. Lee Min should be able to reach this and does. Slips it through, and there is some room here for Brighton to head forward. Tatiana Pinto with a chance to pull it back. And Corbo makes sure with her second of the afternoon. Brighton almost certainly are heading through to the next round. Wolves pushing for the equalising goal. Spaces opened up, and Brighton took advantage. Confirmation of the earlier change there for Wolves. Dan McNamara, the Wolves coach, throwing everything at this game by bringing on more attacking players. And whilst they went in search, whilst they were hunting, Brighton went straight up to the other end and did what they've failed to do over the course of this game. Open up Wolves with ease. And the difference has been the players that Brighton have been able to bring on here. Players of international quality, like Kullberg, Sarri and Lasada. And their introduction ultimately has been a difference maker. Couple of late changes coming up for Brighton. Lee Min is the first to be removed. Clarabella Hall on in her place. Lily Dent also about to enter the action here. Tough go in these scoreboards. Elizabeth Turland will be the other person who will be replaced here. Wasn't really her afternoon, Elizabeth Turland wasn't really able to get into the game in ways that we have seen her be able to get into games over the course of the season. There are the two departing players for the final 2 minutes of this game. Not the pass that Bagley was hoping for, able to skip across and get there, and Bergsford has seen enough of that and thumps it on its way. Probably a sensible decision. Well, Wolves have done themselves proud here, but in the later stages the game has just escaped them. They've made a really good fight of this, and well, maybe give it a couple of seasons and they won't be too far away from the Barclays Women's Super League, playing Brighton on a more regular basis. Pattinson floating one in, and Kullberg in for goal number 3 and her hat-trick. Well, of all the players in the Brighton lineup that you wouldn't have imagined would go through to grab a hat-trick and be such a key performer in the late stages here for Brighton, Emma Kullberg. Well, it's a moment to savour for her. And Brighton certainly do enjoy themselves in this competition. Although you have to say, based on the whole game, it's a scoreline that really flatters them. Pinto's hook away. Wolves looking for the whistle. It's very nearly here, the final whistle that is, rather than the whistle for the free kick. Dudley Jones protecting the ball. The Wolves might not be done here. Maybe they are pretty cooked. Off goes Dent, the substitute. And a sliding challenge from Merritt Will took the ball away. Kohlberg's throw, doesn't find Hall. We'll forgive her that, given the performance since coming onto the field. Wolves put on a very good display here. But in the end, Brighton proving to be too strong. And Emma Kohlberg, of all people, the fullback, coming off of the bench to score a hat-trick here. It's a result that flatters Brighton, but they are heading through to the quarter-finals of the Adobe Women's FA Cup. It finishes here, Wolves 1, Brighton 4. Well, looking back on the game, it was Brighton who got us started. Late in the first half, that effort slammed in by Robinson at the far post. But in the second period, Wolves had something to say. A response from them from the spot. And all of a sudden, just like that, they were back into it. Merrick had a nerve to make it 1-1. But in the late stages, Brighton really turned on the style. Sarri's pass, finding Kohlberg inside the 6-yard box, and from close range, she added her first. There was still 2 more to come, unbelievably. On the breakaway, as Wolves pushed at the other end, Tatiana Pinto slid the pass into Kohlberg, who slotted in goal number 2. And there she was, second assist for Pattinson. And the hat-trick, and goal number 4 for Brighton from Kohlberg. The hero of the hour. They're in the draw on Monday for the next round, the quarter-finals. Thanks for joining us. It finishes Wolves 1, Brighton 4.